This show is brought to you by Whatever You Say Productions, starting conversations since 2018.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Game Over. I am making a comeback because I was out last week. My name is Steve, and I'm your host from the East Coast, coming to you from Maryland. I got with me Ian from Hoboken.
Ooh, damn, Steve, you're on fire right now. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, man?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Good. And we also got Kirk in from Hoboken as well. How's it going, man?
Good. Coming in strong.
Yeah, I was kind of sluggish right now, but now I'm amped up.
Yeah,
jacked up.
It. How was your last week going?
Oh, not bad. We missed you last week too.
Yeah, I was sad I didn't get to get on my Game of Thrones prediction.
Did you have one? And
I mean, I'm just going with Team Gendry. That's who I'm saying is going to be sitting on the throne.
Interesting pick. Pick.
I like it.
I got my own theories, but it'll take a whole episode in itself to dive into that. All right, so we're going to start off with patch notes. We'll get into a lot of what's going on with Ubisoft. Then we'll touch up on No Rush 20, and then followed by Free For All. So to start things off, let's get into patch notes. So to kick off patch notes, we're going to be talking about video game publisher Ubisoft, famous for the Assassin's Creed series. Ian, do you want to get into what they kind of announced earlier this week?
Absolutely. So yeah, if you guys, obviously this past week with the Notre Dame Cathedral burning down in Paris, France, it was a very unfortunate event with Ubisoft being the creators of Assassin's Creed, most specifically Assassin's Creed Unity. If you played that game, is solely based around Paris, France, and significantly with the Notre Dame Cathedral. So what they did was they actually donated £500,000, which is about $564,000, to the restoration of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Publisher standpoint, from a video game standpoint, PR standpoint, phenomenal move. So yeah, Kirk, I mean, I'm going to pass it to you real quick. Did you play Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, I played the earlier series back in 07-ish time frame. I never got into Unity, but was always really interested in the settings that they would do. I feel like a lot of what made those games great is sort of the mapping that they did around the setting and where they dropped people into. The ones where they're on the Black Seas, the ones that was back in the American Revolution, and then Unity being set, in Paris with such just stunning visuals. The big thing about that is he's this parkour guy and climbing up all the cliffs and monuments and sitting at the top of it, so you get a really cool view of the whole cathedral in that game. So it's really nice how they incorporated that and did a really good job of sort of building it out so everybody could see it from a different angle. Yeah,
and unfortunately, by the time this episode airs, I think it will already be off their store for free download. But that was the thing that they were offering, is for just the players to dive into this Assassin's Creed Unity and kind of experience this, structure. And that's what Assassin's Creed kind of does really well, is this attention to detail. I mean, when you think about like the mechanics of the game in terms of climbing these individual ledges of a building, they really kind of hit the nail on the head when they show these giant monuments from a scaling point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you guys touch upon that, because I have it written down right now too. Again, this is a terrible French accent, but Caroline Miose, who was one of the creative directors for Assassin's Creed, she said she spent about 2 years literally just focusing on Notre Dame Cathedral to be incorporated into that game. So the significance of this cathedral, this monument, this everything in the game, and how they incorporated it is phenomenal.
Yeah, and you kind of see this good PR move by them. A lot of reviewers on their Steam pages are now coming in, giving all these positive reviews, which was the opposite of what happened with Borderlands when they announced their Epic Games Store a couple weeks back. They started getting flooded with these negative reviews. So it really does kind of help them as a company, and, good on them to help in this situation. Thoughts go out to everyone in Paris, because it's such, it's sad to see such like a beautiful structured, what happened with
Flames. Yeah. One of the cool things that I remember reading about when this happened earlier this week was that they were talking about the work that went into recreating the cathedral in Assassin's Creed Unity, and all the work and photography, and actually a word that I learned was photometry, I believe it's pronounced, but the way that they kind of piece photographs together to make a bigger picture, and they're going to be trying to help out where they can by passing over this huge database of information to help recreate it and rebuild it with what they did in Assassin's Creed. So it just kind of goes to show you don't know, making sure you do your due diligence for a specific game and getting all the details right could turn into something that helps later.
And I hope that a lot of other publishers, and not just video games or video game publishers and stuff like that, companies in general, take notes on what just happened with Ubisoft. So
yeah, we'll give them a well played on that.
Yeah, well played. Yeah. Good game. GG.
Yeah. I guess last little note that we have in patch notes was that PlayStation 5 announcement. I don't want to get into this because I hate talking about next-gen consoles, because, again, my thing is I want a good scheduled release of games. That's what sells me on a console. But, some of the things I did see get backwards compatibility for PlayStation 4 games, so those people who went down the Xbox route might be able to buy this PlayStation 5, get on games that they weren't able to this gen.
Yeah.
You guys have any thoughts?
I mean, I'll jump right into that because you nailed it. I mean, I don't want to talk about this either because it's just all hearsay and rumors. As a PlayStation guy right now, it sounds great, but I don't believe it until at least another year, or maybe even 2 with PlayStation 5. So right now, yeah, Kirk, I know you play PC. Do you even give a shit about this?
I give lots of shits. No, I one of the things, I mean, if they do that backwards compatibility, I just, the thing that I'm thinking about is opening up the store, the online store. How far back could they go? Like, could we get back into? I would love to play Lord of the Rings from PlayStation 2 back on like a PS5 or
great game.
Yeah, I don't know. 2. Yeah, I don't know how far they said. I did see PlayStation 4. I think it was specifically said PlayStation 4 backwards compatibility. And then again, with a PS4, you can't pop in any PlayStation games. So, like, if you have an old library sitting around, I don't know if that's what you're thinking. You're gonna be able to pop in an old disc and hope for the best.
That's what it'd take to get me back into console, playing some of those old games. I don't know. I still jump into some here and there. The most recent Spider-Man was probably the last console game that I played, but that's what it's going to take. A good story for console gets me back in.
The ball's in your court, Sony, but it's a little bit too early for me to get excited about this kind of stuff. So.
I kind of wonder if it had something to do with what Google was doing. I don't know. Yeah. They were just like, we got to put something out there, but
absolutely, it's all
about press release.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll just about wrap it up for what we have here on Patch Notes. So let's get into the No Rush 20.
You want to take that? No,
let's take it back.
No Rush 20.
All right, kicking it into No Rush 20. This is where we're going to be basically talking about retro games that we used to play, and I think the topic of discussion is going to be old school Blizzard games. So I'm going to, I didn't really personally get into old school Blizzard games. I think the farthest I went back was Warcraft 3. So I'm going to put the ball in Kirk's court here, sort of sell me on what the difference between Warcraft and Starcraft was.
Yes! My favorite segment. For those of you who don't know, if you're not familiar with those games, No Rush 20, colloquially known as NR20, was a way that you would set games up to nobody would be allowed to attack each other for 20 minutes, so you could build up your armies, so it wasn't just kind of small skirmishes. It was kind of an all-out battle that you would go into each other with as much as you could build up in 20 minutes. So that's where we're going with this name. StarCraft and Warcraft, two games that kind of got me into PC gaming to begin with. They were sort of the first ones. Ian and I went to middle school together. I'm pretty sure he was part of the group that StarCraft CD was passed around and
hells yes,
burned copies, and you get a copy of that, burn it, and then bring it back to school the next day. Yep. And all of a sudden now you're set up on StarCraft. biggest difference I would say here between the two games, one, StarCraft is set in space. Two main differences: that you had a hero, which is like a super powerful single unit. You could have up to 3 per game per player, and those guys would have special abilities that you could cast and things that you could use to kind of enhance your army. They were also able to pick up 6 items and TP town portal scroll your entire army back to your base. So that's sort of the main difference between the two RTSs. Ian, did I miss anything there?
No, that was actually, you crushed it right there. But RTS, real-time strategy. There you go.
Thank you for bringing that one in. So I really love it. It's got this nostalgic feel to me, and I do miss playing RTS games. They're really fun. They're strategic. There's a lot that, it's kind of like a giant game of rock, paper, scissors. This counters that, but is countered by this. And I always love that. It's sort of keeping you nimble and making you think on your toes what you need to do to get things to lead you to victory. So I miss playing those games. And one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this segment is because Blizzard announced that they're going to be recreating and relaunching Warcraft 3 Reforged is what they're calling it, with updated graphics. But I think for the most part, it's the same game as far as I am aware. But I mean, the graphics back in early 2000s are quite different from what they can do this day. Is that one that we could expect to get the Game Over guys in to play together? I would love to play that with you guys.
I already, this is bringing back all the feels of middle school and high school with StarCraft, Warcraft, Blizzard. We're going to touch upon Diablo too in a little bit, but yeah, I absolutely, as Kirk was saying before too, I actually really miss RTS games as well. I don't remember the last time I played a solid game of StarCraft. But I want to touch upon, again, with me, Kirk's more of a Warcraft guy, as you guys obviously just heard. I was huge into StarCraft when I was growing up. StarCraft was the shit. StarCraft, the original StarCraft, Brood Wars, that was my jam. But I don't remember. I think the one part I want to touch upon, because playing with my friends was just so funny. It was all about your record. So how many wins, how many losses did you have? But Kirk, I'm sure you remember this. You used to play with people who would have 500 wins, 3 losses, but you would always see there's also a third category, which is disconnects. So basically, all you remember is you have a shitty game and you're about to lose, you just pull the plug in the back. And I had a friend, Mopete, he was the one who had an incredible record, but he had 500 disconnects too, because whenever he was losing, he would just pull the cord.
Nope, yank the cord out from the modem.
Yeah, basically. And then his dad just got super pissed at him for messing up the computer. But yeah, I mean, StarCraft was just a significant part of my nostalgia growing up gaming, and really got me into PC gaming as well. But yeah, the no rush 20 aspect of it, like you were mentioning before too, to being able to shout out to, oh Jesus, I'm not saying shout out anymore, but StarCraft, the Zerg Rush. Basically, when you were giving no rush 20, you had 20 minutes to build the biggest force you possibly could, whether that be a team of battle cruisers or a team of carriers, or just some kind of crazy hydras if you're playing Zerg. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and for sure, I mean, sign me up. Just tell me where to sign, bub. I'm down to play the new Warcraft 3 Reforged. Even though I never really played Warcraft, even though Kirk got me into Dota, that's kind of different, right? Isn't Dota spun off of Warcraft in one way or another?
It was a custom game in Warcraft 3's game creation mode that you could make. So it was built in Warcraft 3, but it's a very different game. It just kind of used the same modeling and mapping for that Warcraft 3 had. I would definitely jump back into Warcraft 3 Reforged when it comes out. Steve, could we get you to play that? Could you try it?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're offering a mount if you buy the Warcraft 3 Reforged and WoW, so it's tempting to get that free mount. I have played Warcraft 3, I will admit that. It was fun. Our high school was set up where they had the computer lab, and it was all kind of local area network, and one day somebody put the program file out there, so we were able to, if you had the long period, you were able to install it and basically play for, hour and a half with anybody else around. But I was always kind of the casual guy who would just play against easy PC people and just build up an army and just wipe them.
Yeah, I mean, that was good times too, because we had that in our high school as well. It's just if you had a computer lab or computer science or something like that, yeah, basically you had an hour. Just whoever installed Warcraft Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
What a good person. Curious though, Steve. I know that you said that if you pre-order, you get a mount. I'm assuming a mount for WoW, right?
Yeah, so something that you're able to ride in game. So on top of purchasing it, you get sort of benefits in other games that Blizzard makes, which is kind of cool to what they do. I do sort of like that aspect of Blizzard.
Smart.
Excuse me, what's a mount?
Steve?
It's just like a rideable horse. So you can
necessarily a horse.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a horse. I think it's like a meat wagon is what the mount is. And you can it's got like a crazy emote, but essentially you drive it around. So when you're with other players, they can see you on this cool mount, and the only way to get it is to basically front the money. So
show me the money.
Thank you.
Think of it as like your car in World of Warcraft to get to point A to point B. But picture in that game you have a garage with 50 cars in it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, more than 50. Oh my god.
But
Depends on how long you're playing.
That's very true too. But we can't forget the lonely stepchild here in the Blizzard trio. We have Warcraft, obviously, Starcraft, but again, a significant part of Blizzard is the Diablo series, which is a little bit different than those other games. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I only really started playing Diablo with like you guys on PlayStation, which is weird. But I'm actually going to throw Kirk under the bus here because I know that you were a Diablo guy. So give us some background into what is the world of Diablo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a Blizzard fanboy now that I'm able to touch on all of these. Diablo was, I guess, somewhat similar to as a precursor for World of Warcraft, where you had a character, you leveled them up. There were RPG elements of skill building and choosing different skill trees to build your character out, picking up loot and gold and trading and kind of all the things that made WoW great back in the day. But it was different from WoW as you would go through the same sort of linear storyline. I think there were 5 acts in the game, and I think there were 3 difficulties. When you finished all 5 acts on the first difficulty, the next one would unlock, and obviously as you're progressing through, you get better and better loot at the higher difficulties. But it was a really fun game, and guys, I think this is, if I can be real with you for a sec, and we'll have this as like a trust tree, that's the first and only game that I quote unquote cheated in.
Oh,
you cheated in Diablo?
Cheated in Diablo.
That was a thing?
That was a thing.
That was a major thing.
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Anthony Santorelli. He learned how to get basically a system in place so that while we were at school, our characters were doing what's called Mephisto. He was a boss in that game that dropped a lot of really good loot. He took a while to get to, but you would kill him, you'd exit the game, start a new one, and kill him again. We had some program set up that would sort of auto run, and just our character was strong enough that on just autopilot could go in there and kill him, and then leave the game, start a new one, and do that. And I think during a school day, however long that was, we would get somewhere in the range of like 12 to 1500 Mephisto runs in on this auto program. So we'd come home and just have all this loot to look at and find out and see what we got and check out all our goodies. But yeah, first only game I cheated in, and I if you consider that cheating, I think I would consider that cheating, right?
I'd consider that cheating. You had a computer program doing the job for you.
yeah.
I would consider that hacking and cheating.
Yeah, you were a bot, in my opinion.
At least, how do you feel getting that off your chest now?
It feels good. It's a heavy burden to carry when I was a 13-year-old that I was a cheater. I was a botter.
We're going to wrap up No Rush 20 right now, and we're going to end this episode 3 with a good old free-for-all. So here we go. All right, so I kind of just stole the mic right here. So, but yeah, we missed you last week, Steven. Good to have you back.
My wine drunk on. A local vineyard.
It's a 40
good. I don't know if you've heard of 40 wines. They're popular.
No Friets.
Delicious.
Yeah,
also, and we'll throw a happy belated to Steve's wife Morgan.
Oh,
Yes, happy.
hap-
Well, her
happy-
birthday is on tax day, so you get to win in both ways, right?
There you go.
That's why she married an accountant, apparently.
Yeah.
That's a
Get that tax refund, and she gets to go out for her birthday. So you get all in one.
Is there another birthday that you might want to acknowledge?
Oh, jeez.
Can't think of any.
Dang
So
it, you
also
guys
coming
forgot.
on, we have Noobs with Boobs. Sam is
Yeah,
here with us. And happy belated birthday to you as well.
Thank you. Clearly,
Did you
I've got
enjoy
an axe to
every day?
grind.
Yeah.
You guys forgot to post my and Ian. This falls on you, Mister Ian. You guys forgot to post my happy birthday image on your account. Abby made it for you, and it was nowhere to be found.
Only
So
human.
thanks for that. Yeah, I'm only your producer. I'm just kidding. No, it's all good. Thank you guys. You guys were great. I honestly, Steve and Kirk, I was really surprised to see you in my birthday video. I felt very special.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Gave you that free shot outside Camden Yards. Thought it was a nice little...
That was so funny.
venue.
You're like, hey, Sam, this is Steve from Maryland wishing you a happy birthday. I felt like I had won on a game show. I don't know what I won, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Steve's was way cooler than mine. I did it in between. I think I was watching
You were like, hey,
Winter
Steve.
Soldier.
Good one.
I think I paused Winter Soldier to go give you a birthday shout out.
I'm
You're in
honored.
That's cool.
your comatose of Avengers movies that you're trying to catch up on.
Did you guys
Yeah.
get a chance to watch that video that Adriana made? Did you watch the whole thing? It's so good. Yeah, Kirk, you were like half asleep. You're like, hey, Sam, happy birthday. Hope it's a good one. I'm like,
You can't
That's
beat
pretty
is
that.
good impression.
he all right? Did Kirk's wife wake him up? Be like, Kirk, the birthday video, do it now.
Do it.
No,
Pause
cute.
Winter Soldier to throw a shout out in there. And then I was like, I gotta find out what happens here. Bucky.
Well, I want to ask you guys, now that I'm here, I'm going to take the driver's seat for a second. You guys are doing such a great job. I told you off air, I listen to Game Over like every day while I'm playing Fortnite. No free ads, but I do.
Thank you.
Are you guys having fun so far?
I'm having a blast.
Yeah, I'm just upset because I can see Steve. He's drinking a beer. Damn it, I don't have one. I'm drinking water. So maybe next episode I'll start doing that. But I'm having a great time
No,
with these guys.
you will not drink a beer next episode. You get mouthy when you drink, my dear. And then who knows what you'll say.
Very
One
true.
beer. I love coming on here every week and
Yeah, it's fun.
riffing with you guys. We missed Steve last week. I missed Byrne this week.
Yeah,
Tea
I
time.
know.
I also, we definitely have to go. We do miss Burn this episode, but he'll be back very, very soon. So, Steve, I know you probably want to. Do you have any Game of Thrones? I know you missed out last week. You
I
probably want
know.
to get some stuff.
Oh man. So, we touched upon it in the beginning, but are we gonna do our prediction of what we think the opening scene is gonna be for episode 2? Are we gonna put those out there?
Now we're doing
Are we
this
do-
one for episode 2.
I
Throwing
like
out
it.
some shillings. Are we
I'll
doing
continue to do it. Now I got to think. What did it ended? It's basically an episode all based in.
Spoiler alerts.
it? Yeah, we won't go into where it ended, but I mean, my guess with everything going on, I think it's still gonna be in Winterfell.
All right, interesting. If you're picking Winterfell, episode 2 opening scene, I gotta go King's Landing. Cersei. Final answer.
King's Landing. King's Landing and Winterfell. What other? I mean, I don't even have that many more options of what I can choose. I mean, I feel like we need to get more specific if we're gonna.
Yeah.
If we basically have 3 settings right now. I feel like we got to get a little more specific than just where are we opening. It's got to be like who's going to be there, like not what's going to happen, but who's going to be on screen. And if I'm going to get a little more specificity there, I'm saying it's going to be Tormund and gang arriving at Winterfell.
Oh, I was gonna
Okay.
say Bronn just staring into space at somebody.
that little creep.
Did you guys see the Kickstarter pledge for building a ramp in Winterfell so Bran could get out of the courtyard?
Yeah, what did it get up to? Wasn't it,
It
some
got up
ridiculous
to like
amount?
$90,000.
I mean, for the olden times, he gets around on that little wheelchair thing. He's
Yeah.
everywhere and everywhere.
God, it just reminds me of like the potato salad on
Yeah.
those GoFundMe's. It's like it has no bearings on anything, but yeah, we'll donate,
Yeah.
It's like
thousands of
$5.
dollars for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Guys,
so-
I also I really gotta quickly, I didn't get to say it last week, but I'm really excited because I finished Sekiro and
Oh God.
It was such a fun ending, and I threw my headset off as soon as I like got that final blow on him, and then I started over again, and I just gotta let you know that I am flying through it the second time. My ninja skills are top notch.
Do the difficulties change, or is it the same, just different story? Like you pick different choices.
It gets so you can start a new game. It's called New Game Plus, and then as you go through it, NG plus 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, how many times you do it again. But it gets harder, and the endings there's more to it. So objectively, it's harder to get different endings. The one that I went with was kind of like the standard ending, I guess you would say, the one that makes morally the most sense if you're a morally upstanding person.
The
So
good
you
guy.
first run through. You were the
Said
good guy.
no one
the first
ever
one?
on this show.
I was the good guy.
Alright.
And I saved the world. So I think the next one I'm going to go through is trying to be the bad guy, make the morally corrupt choices.
All right. Well, I'm interested to see you ride this train again to be the bad boy of Sekiro. So, yeah, gentlemen, episode 3. I had a hell of a time.
You guys are forgetting noobs.
Oh shit, noobs with boobs. Good to have you. As well.
No.
I'm a little. We have
How's
to-
those W's going in Fortnite? You got
Oh,
another? You got 2 now under your
Shout
belt?
out to Dom, right? Is that who we have to? Oh, let's touch upon your win the other night. Thanks to who?
Okay. Let's run it back and be accurate. So, Ian, I don't know. My man, you're going on and on and on about how I need to play Fortnite. I finally got on the damn thing, and you never drop with me. But then the other night I saw you on. You were playing with Kevin and Mike. So I invited myself into your game. I get in, and the boys are like, who the beep, 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 beep is this? And I'm like, hey, everyone, can I play with you? And Ian just goes, oh, no. She plays on a mobile device. Now, listen, honey. Honey. If you want me to play, then buy me a PS4 or buy me a Switch, Mr. Moneybags, Mr. Marketing Director. All right, so then if that's not going to happen, then let me play on my mobile device. So we get into this game, right? And long story short, Ian, you're not as good as I thought you were. Maybe it was just an off day. Maybe I was catching you.
Savage.
And I'm not saying that you're bad,
Interesting
E,
play.
but well, you know what's really lovely about you, because this is also very true to you in real life. You know, we go down, we're up in like Polar Peak somewhere, right, in Fortnite, and we're going down, and Ian spots another squad that's sort of nearby. So he calls out to me and Kevin and Mike, and he's like, guys, there's people over here, they're building. I'm going to stand here. I have a campfire if anyone needs it. So Ian will fire the first shot, but then, like, Kevin and Mike come in, they do the rest. Ian's building a campfire, and I'm like, guys, what do you want me to do? They're like, just stay back there. But you know what? I gotta hand it to you guys. You got me a win, so thank you very much for that.
Exactly.
2 wins now? Or is
I
that
do
3?
appreciate. No, I have. I won the other night as well, so I think I have like 6, 7, or 8.
Yeah, you're cooking.
now.
Victory
And then I won-
Royales.
I won this afternoon, but I do need to give a shout out. I have 2 little friends that I've met on Fortnite, Aiden and Dom. These guys are under the age of 14. They're super young, but they're really nice. And Aiden has a really good strategy for me. And Ian, I haven't told you this. So basically what he does is he will run around until he finds me a bush. He then gives me the bush with a bunch of ammo and like 3 guns, right? Then we go over and we wait until there's about like 10 people left, 8 people left, 6 people, whatever it may be. I put the bush on, and he builds this really complex fort around me and basically hides me inside of that fort, and I stay there. And so then the other people come and whatever. So just in case he does get hurt, I then wait for them to gather what they want and start to walk away, and then I bust out in my bush. I bust out of the fort. I've got my gangster guns, my double guns, and I kill everyone, and we win.
That's a pretty
It's
savage
really-
technique.
It's really, really a great technique. It truly is, and he's just the best. I love this kid, man. Very rarely, and you guys know this if you play really any games, like, but especially on Fortnite. The kids you find at Fortnite, they are not forgiving. Like, they will kick off a game and be like, you hear like crackle, 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 crackle. Hello? Do you have a mic? Ugh, you have default skins? Please don't tell me you're a noob. If you're a noob and you suck, can you just gather stuff for me, please? And they're so mean. And these other kids that I played with a couple weeks ago, girl, let me tell you, they kept going. My username is mygoodies69. Adriana made it up for me. And they're like, my goodies, follow me up here. So they build this tall ass ramp, right? And then these assholes, they jump off with their gliders. So they land safely, and then they chop me down and kill me.
Yeah.
On my own team.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't play that game, because of the
I
toxicity
think that
of
sounds-
people at times.
I never had that experience. You
Steve.
mobile Fortnite gamers are something else with this bush and buildings and all that kind of stuff. But
Ian, it's a solid plan. And Steve, I'll make a deal with you. Steve, I will give you a hot bag of nickels and like a beer if you play Fortnite with me.
he has it.
I was gonna say I have it on PlayStation 4, so that you can play.
Drop with me.
You can play everything. Yeah, I played
And
with
you can play that with people on the mobile.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I play
wow.
mobile, PS4, Xbox, Switch. I
Oh,
play with everyone.
She was
PC.
in the squad with me, then we got the dub. Yeah, somehow. I don't know. Literally, that was crazy. We were playing all night with no wins, and then my goodies 69 just bombards into our group. And I was like, oh, God. And the first game we do actually play with her, we win. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know.
Did you
Maybe it
build a
was.
fort up around her
No.
and give
No,
her a
they
push?
didn't. You want to know what happened in that game? Kirk,
I
let
just
me
left
tell
her.
you. Yes, Ian left me. Much like in real life, Ian just left me. And I kept following Kevin around, his username is Mad Footjobs. Kept following Kevin around. I'm like, Kevin, would you like some bandages? Do you want any magic potion? Do you want a pistol? And he's being so polite. He's like, no, I've got everything I need. Thanks. I'm like, oh, okay. I've got some potion. He's like, nope, I've got potion, but thank you. And then Ian, you know what? I'm going to say this on air because I know that those boys listen to this podcast. Went to send them a friend request. Can't do it. They blocked me.
Good.
Ooh,
Smart guys. Smart guys.
dagger.
They're not. You know what? You guys are going to be so sorry when I'm really good at this game and I can
The
build something
pro
other than just
mobile
roof.
Fortnite player. Actually, we got to. It's coming up in New York. I'm buying the tickets for the. I'm going to look into buying tickets for the World Cup in Queens in like.
Yeah, I
June
want
or
to go.
I think that would be kind of fun. So we're going with the best mobile player ever. My goodies 69.
I probably should change my username.
I think
Embrace
so.
it.
If you're going to be
Embrace the username.
the mother goose of mobile Fortnite gaming, I think you got to change your name from My Goodies 69 to something more appealing to the younger generation.
Oh, you're probably right. You're not lying. But the thing is like, it's just so funny because sometimes you get those funny little kids from down south who have those thick accents, and they're like, "Oh my God, my goodies, come on, we need to go." It's so funny to listen to them scream, and I tell them, like, guys, my name is Samantha. You can call me Sam or Samantha. You don't have to call me by my username. But
There are no real names when it comes to gaming at times.
Nope.
But thanks for the dub, Ian.
welcome.
No thanks to you, but thanks for the dub. And thanks
We
for
got
keeping me.
3 or 4 kills that game, so yeah.
You
Shout out
did
to
or
me.
I did.
I did. You didn't have any. I know for a fact you did not have any.
Well, you didn't give me a chance. You guys kept telling me to stay in the fucking castle. I'm like a princess. Stay in the
Yeah.
castle. Stay in the castle. We got this. I'm like, okay. I
And
have
we did.
bandages.
And we got it.
It's like
Yes,
Princess
you did.
Peach.
You did, but you also had a huge advantage because we were up on top of that hill thing, and those
high ground.
ding-dongs. Yeah, we're down there. So
It's clutch in the game of Fortnite. So, anyway, all right, we're
very
rambling.
much so.
Yeah.
Game
Anyways,
over episode
I'll
3.
wrap this up.
Let him wrap it up.
Yeah,
Kenny, wrap
we're
it up.
wrapping it. So this was Game Over episode 3. We're coming to you every Thursday. You can follow me on Instagram at Steve STEVE from Game Over.
Follow my ass at Ian from Game Over.
you don't have an ass.
We keep
Very true.
following his ass. You can follow me at Kirk from Game Over.
And of course, you can follow the Game Over the podcast on Instagram as well. So yeah, you only get to catch us every Thursday, but follow us along for the rest of the week.
Yeah, and shout out to Noobs with Boobs. Follow them at Noob.
Look
Do
at
you
you,
spell that
Steve.
with the zeros, right?
Yep.
What's with the
It's
zero?
N00BS and then W. I think it's just, I don't know, man. Adriana runs that account.
And again, I did on that before we have like some.
Swig.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks for tuning in. All right, good job.
Good job, gentlemen.
Thanks.
See, I could keep talking forever, but
Well, I definitely think we made the time on that one, so we'll be good there.
oh yeah,
Ian, why did they block me?
they didn't block you, I'm sure.
Well, I can't friend request them. It says
Might
that
have a
they
full
use
friend
Joseph.
I
request.
don't know,
So
I'm
wait,
gonna-
can you friend? Oh, because I guess you could. It's still Fortnite. It's not like a PSN ID.
No, yeah, through the.
What's your Fortnite name? Will you drop with me? I'm really good.
I think it's gonna be Johan Figums. YOHANFI.
Thank you for listening to Game Over.
Brought to you by Whatever You Say Productions, starting conversations since 2018. To learn more, join us at GameOverThePodcast.com.